Yo, good evening. Sorry, apologies for the lateness. Another episode of Real Ball Talk. We're here to cover the derby games mainly today. So it's a big weekend of football. If you're an Arsenal fan, this is a real indication of where we're going to be at the end of the season. And I've got my co-host with me, or one of them so far. I got Rash. What you saying, my guy Rash?
What's going on, man? Alhamdulillah, happy to be here, bruv. Happy it's Friday once again, and happy
Trust me.
that there's football back on, some Premier League football back on this week now. So it's Derby, it's gonna be meaty,
Mm-hmm.
pause, and it's
Yeah, big pause on that.
yeah, there's gonna be lots to talk about though, and especially in regards to a lot of the happenings this week as well. I think we should touch base on couple of the things, couple of the topics that's happened this week as well. Touch base on a few of those things, but yeah, man, let's get into it, bro.
Yeah, man. So before we get to the derby games, John will be on in a minute. Let's talk about transfer news first of all. Let's warm it up first. So with the transfer news, we're Arsenal fans. This Mudryk thing seems like it's getting closer. The fee seems to be close to 100 million euros. It seems like, but it seems like the structure of the deal is going to be a certain way, so we're not going to be paying it all at once. How do you
That's right.
feel about that deal?
Look, they've had their heart.
Now it's close to being a reality.
Yeah, like they've had their heart set on getting Mudryk. You know what I mean? I've heard rumors that one of the reasons why the Chelsea deal went through so easily with Joal Felix was because they kind of saw that Arsenal was just their main focus was on Mudryk. So they've been in negotiations. They're throwing in a couple offers. Some have been rejected. Some look like it was going to be negotiated. Like when they put in that second offer, it was a little while before it got rejected. It was just being negotiated, and terms and of the structure was being discussed. And then later down, it was just officially rejected again. But for Arsenal, because if you think about it, I think the first one was something like a 45 million. Then the second one was 50 million or 55 million, close to
I think we went,
60.
yeah, I think we went
And
from 50 million up front to about 60 something up front.
yeah,
Something like
and then to jump straight to look, we give you 70 up front and work out the rest in add-ons, which could add up to about 100. Thereafter, it shows Arsenal's intent. Like they want this kid. Like they're totally sold on him. They've been watching him for a long while. He is a good player, even though he hasn't played for Shakhtar for too long. What he has done in a small period of time has obviously showed the qualities that he has and his ability, his technical ability, and it's not just based on that as well. It's how the kid kind of handles himself. From what I've read, he's the first in training. Is the last one to leave. Is very um, intrigued and focused on the statistics that he gets from his performances. He's onto the technology side of performance enhancement and seeing how he can develop and these sort of things like that. And they have a limited equipment and stuff like that down where he is at Shakhtar. So to come to Arsenal, where they are kind of focused on these sort of things like that, it's just something heavy he's been pushing for. Arsenal, Arteta in particular, he loves someone who's really interested in their development. Every single one of the Arsenal players in the team, they got a development plan where each stage they want to do something, and where they're at and what they're going to have to add to their game to get to the next step and so forth like that. They all have something like that. So I think he's a good fit. I think, look, if we've been going for him this hard, let's just go for him. Whatever it is now, it seems like Arsenal have the cash in the kitty, and if they really wanted to do it. So if you're going to do it, just do it. I kind of stopped watching anything regarding this deal for the last 2 days because I know there's not going to be no real progress on. Yes, it's a done deal. Probably I was hoping till this evening because then he'll be able to play for the Spurs game, but it's not going to work out like that. So really, I'm kind of just leaving it until Monday before I really look up on Mudryk again. But again, yeah, I think it's something that we should go for, and it'll be a good addition.
Yeah, like, I agree. I think it's kind of, I think we mentioned it last episode, just saying that so we don't want to repeat a Bruno Gomares, like where you track a player for so long, you kind of have a feeling he's the right player. You don't make a bid, and then he goes somewhere and there's a success.
That's
So
right.
we kind of have to get that done, get that over the line, especially if he's the main target, which it seems like he is. So if like even the reason I want him even more is like we played FA Cup earlier this week. John's in the building. What are you saying, John? Everything good?
Yo, what you man saying, bro? What you man saying? You man good?
Yeah,
Yes,
all good,
yes.
man.
What's going on, Johnny?
All good, my
All
guy.
good.
All good, bro.
We're just starting with the transfer um,
Oh
news.
yeah,
We
yeah,
know
yeah.
Mudryk is getting closer. So yeah, just touching on that to start with. Like we played Oxford United, and like for the first half we didn't play well, but the problem was like Saka shouldn't be starting a game like that. Like,
That was mad.
like
And the
I
thing
thought,
is, as well, Jeff, about that is that
yeah,
they were getting battered out there. Like the first half, it was like WrestleMania.
yeah, it was
Like,
bad, man. They're getting lifted, like front
but
slams.
the referee refused to officiate. It's like
Mm,
he was just, I don't know. I don't know why he wasn't calling fouls. I don't know why he wasn't letting people getting away. So I mean, he could have set the tone of the game from the get go, not with like cards and card distribution and stuff like that, but just with a quick word, yo,
Yeah,
calm
yeah,
down.
yeah.
mhm,
You're gonna
yeah,
ruin careers if you keep going in like this. Like, where's the aggression coming from? I didn't understand. Like, they're not rivals. We ain't got no previous beef. Like, I didn't understand the level of aggression, like the pushing and like it was a mess. It was a lot the first half,
That's
and
the
yeah, I
thing.
don't.
Get physical, innit?
Yeah,
yes,
like just
real non-league like introductions, but that's why like the Saka thing, or even if it was a few senior players I didn't expect to see on the pitch, but like one, our squad is kind of thin. Two, Arteta probably has a trust for like maybe 18, 19 players in total. And then three, we just don't have enough quality on the bench anyway. Like Saka, yeah, Saka should be. Yeah, he came off injured. Like I think he'd going to be fine for like the derby, but just that is like another sign that all right, we need something else, especially when we get into like business end of the season each season. Like, if we're trying to be a Champions League team, you cannot just rely on Saka all season. The kid is 21. He's probably played well over 100 games for Arsenal by now, like well
Yeah,
over.
yeah,
So, like, you need to not wrap him in cotton wool, but just be smart. So, like, buying Mudryk, you can probably play on both sides, it looks like, then you just have another option. So, I feel like that would be a great addition, personally. What do you feel about the transfer, John, now that it's getting closer to being finalized?
yeah. I'm happy about it. To be honest, I think he looks like a good prospect.
Mm,
Um, whether he'll be treated like a prospect when he comes in,
nope,
now
he won't be.
he won't be because of the price tag. So that's the
Yeah.
only thing. And because we're right in the mix of a title race, I just got the feeling bad people are going to put that pressure on him to say this guy's the extra little bit of flair that Arsenal needed to
Yeah.
take them over the line. So it's a lot of pressure on the kid. I ain't gonna front. What's the
Mhm.
fee looking like? 70 million euros or something?
It looks like it's going to be 70 million euros up front, or it might be pounds. I can't remember. The total deal looks like it's going to be close to 100 million euros. So it's going to be. It looks like it's going to be around the Anthony price when all is done.
Okay,
The
Arsenal putting their
Anthony,
money where their mouth is.
yeah,
Who
so
the
that's a big
fuck
signing. And then yeah, I hear that Declan Rice is being looked at this summer because he wants to leave West Ham,
all right.
and
I don't want
That's
Declan
another
Rice.
conversation because we've
I don't
heard
want
that
Declan.
obviously Danilo is in contact with Forest, Nottingham Forest,
What?
and obviously
Nottingham
Danilo
Forest?
was
Yeah,
and obviously Danilo was an Arsenal target
yeah,
that they've been monitoring for a little while now as well.
mhm,
So when I was looking deeper into thinking, okay, what's going on here? Um, Rumors are saying it could be possible that this is they when they wanted him in the summer, he was at a certain stage in his development,
mhm,
and because they didn't get him in the summer, and because of the evolution of the team and how advanced it got, like they didn't expect to be where they are now. The team's kind of gone past
yeah,
the
yeah.
level of his development, so they've now chosen to
Uh,
opt to go for Rice in the summer, and they're gonna just hold
mm,
out for that. Um, Don't know how true that is, but we could
don't
really
know.
do with some sort of backup in the midfield.
But then just start because
He wouldn't be
Rice is English.
pricing.
Yeah, he wouldn't be back up. So it sounds like
No,
he's
I
gonna
mean for
cost.
now. I mean for January.
Oh
I
no, I
think we
think
still
because
need someone now.
we probably do. But then if we're looking at Rice, they're probably gonna try and firm it until summer. And I
Do you know what
don't
I mean?
want Rice personally. Like he's a good player,
Neither
but
do
if
I.
you've got Partey, then why do you want Rice? Because Rice will be like a double negative. You can't play Rice as an 8 and Partey isn't an 8.
Well, I
To
think
me.
the idea is about having two quality players in the same position. As we saw before, when we needed players to come off the bench at Newcastle, we didn't have anyone. And if we needed a midfield reinforcement, really, we've only got a holding midfield reinforcement. We haven't got an extremely attacking mixed midfield alternative, or even an extremely defensive midfield alternative. We just got one that is can hold the position that we are currently in. So I think with someone like Partey, looking at the age that he is as well, I mean he's not old, but he's reaching on the late. He's on the late side of 29. I think he's 29 now, isn't he? So he's going to be 30.
Yeah, you're
Xhaka's
right.
going to be around the same age, or maybe even a year older. So possibly a Rice and a Tielemans to cover both of those players. Who knows? You know what I mean? But just to have that as an alternative when fatigue sets in. Arsenal, the Arsenal team seem to understand that they are all squad players and they all have to play a certain position. And if it means that you may have to be subbed in the 60th minute, like what happens to Zinchenko or Tierney, or or with Benny Blanco and Tomiyasu, like they understand when it hits 60th minutes, I might lose my position because Arteta might want to just do something at this precise moment. And it's the same with the attack. We've seen him take off Partey as well. We've seen him take off Xhaka too. So it's just good that rather than just having El Nini, and Lokonga, and even sometimes just Holding coming in to be the extra man in defense instead, we've got actual alternative to those positions that's going to still probably push a heavier victory if we're already winning, or push to the victory if we're not, So I think there'll be good
Yeah.
moves.
I don't know. Like Rice, I feel like I don't know if he's the best candidate like for Arsenal. Like
For that
because
price.
for the
that price,
price and the profile, like you just look at like the way we play is very, very fluid. I don't know if Rice is that kind of player. Like he's a good defensive mid. Like he's great at like one-on-one defending as well, like in that midfield. When someone's breaking, he's great at like getting himself across, defending stuff. But in terms of like turning defense into attack, I feel like I don't know if he's the right guy, because for that price, he's gonna cost probably between 80 and 100 million. He's their club captain, he's their star, they love him,
He's
and
young.
he's young. He's what, 23, 24, something like that. Like I don't know
23.
if 23. Yeah, I don't know if 80 to
He's
100 million.
24 tomorrow.
Okay, so there we go. Yeah, I don't know if 80 to 100 million for what he has, like ability wise, justifies it. Like I feel like
No,
that money could probably be spent better elsewhere.
I'll
definitely,
be surprised if Arsenal didn't spend it better.
definitely.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into this derby game. So let's
I
start with
was just going
Arsenal.
to ask you just before the Derby game. Sorry,
Oh yeah,
bro.
go ahead, bro.
What did you man think of Felix last night? Did you see him and think, oh, we could have done with him?
Man, I'll say this before he went off, like, that challenge. I want to say he deserved the red. That challenge was
Yeah,
free.
that's a straight red. Yeah, it's a madness. It's a madness.
But it's one of those, you're really trying to impress. He probably missed 3 or 4 chances. You get a bit overzealous and you make a challenge like that. But in terms of his general play, cold. Like he was cold. Like he like his finishing, of course, he's not like a clinical finisher all in all. But in terms of like his approach play, amazing. Like he was really, really good. He was dragging Fulham all over the place. He was probably their brightest player before the red card. Like first half, he was causing problems. Like he had several chances himself, like without anyone else. And I feel like if that you get a Sterling and then whoever else is suitable on that right hand side, Chelsea could be onto something. They maybe can rescue something out of their season. Like if they can get that front three right when people are fit, I think.
That Havertz guy again, man.
Very, very strange player, man. Yeah,
He made some poor decisions.
Very much so. Yeah,
Ones that
very much so.
cost them ultimately because could have played in a few balls sometimes, just getting your head up. You know what I mean? A couple of times would have put Chelsea through a couple of times. But
oh man, there was
going
one that
back
stands out. That was bad.
Taking off, right?
Yeah, he ran it off. It was like, oh my god, what is going on?
There was two open players, and they couldn't have been tracked if they had played them through. It was a bit.
And he dribbled it off the pitch.
Yeah, like the touch, it was like, he's really struggling with a lack of confidence because that doesn't happen when you're in form. That only happens when you're out of form.
Facts.
It's crazy. But in regards to Joao Felix, wild one for him, man. I feel it for him still. Like life comes at you fast sometimes. You know what I mean? 1 minute you're in Spain, just chilling, just pissed at your manager. Next minute you're just starting on the starting lineup for Chelsea.
Cottage.
Yeah, and the thing is, he was having a good game. Like he was Chelsea's biggest threat for them. What I am actually amazed at is the power of his shots with such little uplift. He would just get the ball, and the ball would be like half a yard in front of him, and he would just like cock it back, pause, bang. Do you know what I'm trying to say? If his direction was a little bit better, if it was to the corners, they would have caused Leno a little bit more problems. But Leno had a brilliant game. So yeah, they were playing against the best Leno from what I saw. So he wasn't. It was going to be difficult, but yeah, to get a red card on your debut, you're on loan for a certain amount of games, straight red. So 3 games straight out the window, and half of this one. No good start.
Basically a 3-month loan at this rate, like a 3.5 month loan. Like,
crazy.
It's crazy. But yeah, let's get into the derby. Let's start with the North London derby. So Arsenal with 5 points clear as it stands, and Man United play City. So all right, what do we make of just because form kind of goes out the window? It doesn't matter that we're unbeaten in our last 10, I think it is. Derby games are derby games. It's about who wants it more on the day. So what do we make of our chances against Spurs? And do we think they'll be full strength? Do you think like Kulusevski will be back?
Could be back?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna assume he's gonna be close. I don't know if he'll 100%.
Benton might be back.
Benton might be back too.
Kulusevski's fit.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, Kulusevski's fit still.
Yeah. So what do we make? What do we make of this game? Do we think that we're gonna run out easy victors, or do we think it's gonna be a dogfight?
I think it depends on the opening 20 minutes. If we get slapped about in the opening and overrun in the opening 20 minutes like we have done beforehand, then I can see us trying too hard to get to attack and leaving further space behind. And however, that's not the same Arsenal. We're not the same Arsenal. We've got more game controls from the off. It's not going to be an easy game at first. I think we know Conte's set up. He's ultra defensive, but I reckon he's going to try and do a shock thing. And I don't even think it's going to be him. I think it's just going to be the players anyway, because it's a derby. They're going to be out fit. They're going to like hit back quite hard in attack. So I think it's going to be difficult. It's not going to be an easy game. We're going to have to deal with Kane's, and I think Son's going to be playing as well. And I think he's going to pull a game out of his bag. But I think ultimately,
against us.
Yeah, he does. But I think if we can just control 3 of their main players, then I think it's going to be easy after the opening after the opening 25 minutes, if we can contain 3 of their main players, it's going to be easy. I think we're going to kill them.
Oh yeah, and by the way, Kulusevski will be back, so he'll be available. So don't know if he'll start, but he'll definitely be available. And then late calls will be made on Bentancur and Richarlison. So it looks like it'll be a full strength Spurs. John, what do you make of it?
That's different.
You know what? I agree with Rash in the sense that the first 20 minutes will be absolutely key. But another thing that I'm just going to add to that as a caveat is also the result from the game the day before. Because if City are now 2 points behind us, having gone to Old Trafford and won, then all of a sudden, the thing changes from a draw would usually not be a bad result away at Spurs, but now you start thinking, oh, it might be a bad result because if we get a draw, it's 3 points, and then City come to our ground and win, they go ahead on goal difference. And once we see City ahead of us, that psychological shift could happen very quickly. So I think depending on what happens at Old Trafford the day before, and let me put out there, I think United might beat City. I'm going to say that we're watching that game, but I think United might beat City.
I think they got a real shot. I think you got a point because City have been winning, but City haven't been City yet, really. Like we discussed some of the reasons why, like Haaland, maybe the fluidity and just playing like Foden on the wrong side, things like that. And United have been steadily getting better.
Exactly.
So that's gonna be a good game. That's actually gonna be a really good game.
So I think that will play a part, but I think if Arsenal get through the first 30, still at a draw, I think they win because Spurs will start thinking, "Now we have to win at home. We got to stop them from trying to win." And I could just see them like self-imploding. Like that Palace game was odd. I know it was 4-0, but if it was 1-0 to Palace or 2-0 at half time, Spurs couldn't have been complaining. And it was just one of those odd games where Palace kind of just crumbled in the second half, like 2 quick finishes. They're 2-0 behind, thinking, how we should be winning. Now we're losing 2-0. They just never recovered from that. So it's kind of
that also shows how Spurs can just all of a sudden switch in a small period of time.
That's also true.
Point.
And also, as you man said, like Saka got a knock against Oxford, expected to get clamped first 10 minutes.
Yeah, 100%.
There's a tab that will tell his man, yo, first 10 minutes, see what this guy is saying, see how fit he is. And as clean of a way as you can do it.
That's exactly what they did.
Yeah, so that's what you do if you're opposing left back. If your first 5 minutes, you let the player know you're there, see what he's made of. If he shrugs it off, cool, we're in for a game. If he doesn't, then all right, bring someone else on.
And also, you know what? It's going to be important for the Arsenal players to not get. I know it's hard though, to not get too caught up in the game. Because I don't want it to be one of them ones where like Romero does a mad crunch of first 5 minutes, and then someone like Gabriel Saliba feels like they got to do a mad cruncher back. Do you know what I'm saying? That's not the kind of game we want. That's not the kind of game. But
it's gonna be a tricky game, man.
50-50 game.
Like we'll get to the results, but all right. So what do we make of like our mentality at the moment? So I guess beforehand would say that Man City playing beforehand would really have a real psychological disadvantage for Arsenal because we're known to crumble. What do we make of ourselves now? Like we've had a good season, we've had a good season. We had a good end to last season, bar the Newcastle game. What do we make of our progress and like our psychological mind state now? Do we think that we are a much tougher team, or do we think we're still prone to crumble when the going gets tough?
Before I just let Rash go, I'll probably just say quickly, I think the mentality has gone one step above what it used to be. In terms of that final step, we're about to see. We're about to see in the next couple of months. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of games. We got FA Cup, we got City right away next round.
Yes, yeah.
So that's one where I wouldn't be mad if we just threw that tie away. To be honest, if I'm being honest, I mean, I'm not that fast. We've won the FA Cup bare. Yeah. Can't lie. I prefer Europa League to FA Cup.
I would too.
Same.
I would too.
So
Yeah.
if we have to throw a game, like City away is also the perfect type of game where even if you lose with your first team, people wouldn't look at you twice. So if you rest the players, then it's not that deep.
Yeah.
But I think mentality's definitely gone one step further than last season for sure. Just looking at, even though I know Chelsea are horrible, but when we went to Chelsea and won, that was a great result at that time. Do you know what I mean? We beat Wolves away. I know that again they're not great, but we beat them after everyone else. So, and I think again the Newcastle at home game. I know it's 0-0, but that's the type of game, boy. In the title race, you could end up losing that 1-0 at home, and then you're like, damn, how did that happen? And then you start. So sometimes if you can't win, just take a point, carry on type of thing. So I think the mentality is definitely taking one step forward. In terms of that final step, we're about to find out. But if Arsenal don't win the league, I'm not going to sit here and say, raw, they're chokers or anything like that, because I mean, when you're a young team, how often do young teams win the first time that they can?
I only can think of one. Man United in '96, when they had like the new team with like the Beckhams and whatnot, they won it when they were like a new team.
But even then, they had 2 or 3 men in that team that won the league. No,
that's true too.
Michael,
That's true
Cantona.
Yeah.
We didn't even got that
Steve
unless
Bruce,
you count
maybe.
Jesus and Zinchenko.
Yeah, but like actually, before I get to the comments and stuff, Rash, what do you make of our mentality? Do you think we've come on leaps and bounds, or do we think we're still one game away from crumbling?
I think the way that they're handling their games shows that their mentality has shifted. When you take your games a game at a time, you erase kind of what went on beforehand. You know what I'm trying to say? You deal with only what's in front of you, and that's what I can see that they've changed in regards of in their mentality, and you hear it when they after every game as well. Look, we're just concentrating on these people now. Yeah, that was a good game that we just played, but now it's on to these guys. And when you take things a game at a time, it's quite easy to build on a memory on your mentality, because it's just like, okay, that was an obstacle. Newcastle, we drew. We knew it was going to be a tough game. All right, so now it's on to the next one. All right, it's Tottenham. Good luck for them, mate, because our next objective is still the same: win every game. You know what I'm trying to say? So, as the fact that they've got it set like that, I think we don't have to kind of worry about their mentality, even if they lose to Tottenham, even if they lose to City in the cup. I don't think that we have to worry about them losing another one and then another one and another one, because all of a sudden their confidence are low. I don't think that is going to be the case, but rather I think they're going to be a little bit more determined. So I can honestly see, look, from what they did before the break, the World Cup break, when they had the chance to go to the top with X amount of points just before the break, and it was fantastic. They took the chance and they did it. City dropped points. They took the advantage. Beginning of this the return, again, we dropped points, we bounced back. Do you know what I mean? We dropped points again, but when City are losing, we're taking our opportunities. When Newcastle are losing, we're taking our opportunities as well. So I don't think it's something to worry about so much anymore like that. I just hope they have the physical capabilities to keep it consistent for the rest of the season, because it's a long season. There's many games. We're in a lot of competitions still. Fatigue can take over, and even though you might feel up to the job, your body really knows you might lose a stride towards the back end of the season because you're tired. You've been working so hard. That's why these transfers are very important.
I agree. Let's get to some of these comments before we get back to some of this pre-game analysis. So, Duncan, what's what you saying, Duncan? Everything good? I think Arsenal should beat Spurs, and United and City will be a draw or close to 1.
Kabito, is that what you're saying?
I hope you're right on both fronts, Duncan, man. I really do. Because I hope we win and we go 7 or 8 points clear. I hope that's the story from the weekend.
Hey, that'd be mad.
That'd be great, especially when we got City coming up.
Facts.
Duncan again. I think this is when we were talking about Mudryk. Arsenal need to just pay the P and get the guy. All this back and forth is some joke thing. Arsenal want him, and if they keep moving like this, the deal could get hijacked. I would have agreed a week ago, but this guy is desperate to come to Arsenal. Like every post is Arsenal related. Like I think he posted something else yesterday about Arsenal again. It's like, yeah, I think at this point, it's either Arsenal or nobody in this window. It'll just be a summer free for all. So
he's fucking mad, bro.
Yeah, man. What else is there? We've got Jalil in the building. He's saying Jalil.
Jay Lizzie.
My guy Jalil, bro. So this is a must-win. Form goes out the window. Spurs are still shit, though. Come on, you Gunners. Yeah, you're right. Hey, on both fronts, form definitely goes out the window, and we're always gonna agree with you and say Spurs are still shit. Doesn't matter what happens. We know that your mate Hugo is in goal. There's always a chance that he's gonna let one in. Always. And we know why.
That's right.
Extracurricular activity.
We know what Jalil, if he was here, what he'd be saying. But Jalil, just want to say to Jalil, quick shout out and love to you, man, and thoughts go out to your family today, man. I hope that everything's okay and everything went according to plan, man. Love.
100%. They want to get too much into it at the start, but yeah, Rash is definitely right. Send our prayers and hope everything's good, man, for sure. Jalil's got another comment. So United will beat City tomorrow. I agree. Rather a draw, but can't see it happening. United in good form. Okay, so you have United as the favourites, Jalil.
So I don't see United as being the favourites, but I think United can do it because I've seen it happen before. But they are in good form. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Rashford is playing brilliantly. I think he's back and he's riding his confidence, and that's what you should be doing, boy. Ride that until the wheels fall off. Even though Anthony seems very basic, he's scoring goals. Love it. Do you know what I mean? Let's see more. So it could. You never know. And we've seen United pull it out of the bag and do some weird stuff before against top teams, Man Cities and the Liverpools of the world. So, and even Arsenal, obviously, that 8-2 victory. We can't ever forget about that one. So,
that one. That was like a ruthless beating.
That is a day that I can actually be taken back to, and there's not many days that I can remember like clear, vividly, and I can see it. I can see that day clearly. But anyway, let's get off of that day. But yeah, I think United can do it as well. But my inclination is that City will set up correctly and just get the job done.
Okay.
Yeah. It's 50-50. It's a 50-50 game, you know. I like it when games are 50-50.
Yeah, I think both games are. Like I think Arsenal may have the slight edge, just because the form we're in and how sometimes or less sometimes Spurs are. Like unless Kane pulls something out of the bag, they normally don't do too much.
It's Kane. It has to be him. It will only be him.
He loves playing against Arsenal. Yeah, he loves playing against Arsenal. And then with the City game now coming off the back of that loss, we know that losses don't mean too much to them, but that loss was a strange loss. Like 2-0. Like there was they had a lot of the ball, but there wasn't much penetration. It seems like they were kind of lacking something. Even when you bring on the Haaland, I know it's the FA Cup, but you brought on Haaland, so you did want to win the game. It's not just like an FA Cup game where, we don't care. We got other bigger fish to fry. No, you brought on your big hitter, your goal scorer to win this game. Yeah, and it just didn't work out, man. So yeah, that game's a little bit up in the air, man.
What was the score again for that one?
2-0 Southampton.
2-0 Southampton. Yeah, and two good goals. One very strange goal,
the second one, isn't it?
Yeah, second one was a bit. Was weird. The second one was
At first, it was like, wow, what a goal. And after review, it's like, huh?
How did that happen?
What's he doing in there? Like,
how could they allow that to happen? Like, what the hell is going on here? Like, it was just, of course he's gonna score. How could he
Bro,
not? Like,
he basically left the door open. It was so
yeah,
weird.
it was
You're
weird.
on your 6-yard box and the guy's 25 yards out. Like, what are you doing?
Wow,
Yes, taps.
weird. Like, why did
Ridiculous.
you do that? It's mad. It's mad.
Didn't make any sense. Oh yeah, last comment. So yeah, before we get back to some of this and pre-game analysis. So everyone in the comments, please put your Tottenham Arsenal combined 11, and please smash the likes. See, we got 9 people in here at the moment. Please hit those likes if you haven't already. But yeah, please tell us the combined 11. Who would it be in favor of? Would Arsenal have more of it,
Of course.
or would Spurs have more of it?
No.
If Spurs have more of it, we might have to have a conversation. I might even throw the link in the chat, and you might have to come up here and explain yourself as to why
Yeah.
you have
Nah,
5 or
Spurs-
6 Spurs players.
Spurs
Yeah.
can't have more of them, man. No way.
Nah.
No
But
way.
speaking of Spurs, so we know what we have in terms of weaponry going forward. But let's talk about, what do we think Spurs' biggest deficiency is in playing them? Like, we know what they're attacking. We know what their game plan kind of is. It's 3 at the back, kind of 5 in midfield, and then on the counter attack, it would be Son and Kane. And if Kulusevski plays, it will be Son, Kulusevski, and Kane. But what do we think their biggest deficiency is in playing them? Where can we get a quick win? Who's the target?
Depends, is Romero playing?
Romero, I'm gonna assume he's back because now the World Cup hangover is
I
worn
know
off.
that Romero. Sorry, what's his name? Chicken Royale, the KFC guy.
Oh, Mr.
Emerson.
Chicken Royale. I think he's been dropped recently. Doherty's been.
Has he
playing.
been dropped? Jeez.
Yeah, that
Oh,
Doherty's
but
got his
Doherty's not much better though.
He's not, but as a wing back, Doherty's a much better wing back than
True, they play Fred at the back. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a terrible. It's weird how that happens. How are you an awful right back and a decent right wing back? I don't understand how, but yeah, he's
Bro,
actually
look at one guy who's having the exact struggle right now. Look at Cucurella.
my
Mad
God.
wing back at Brighton. You put him in a
Wow.
back 4 and a left back. He's looking crazy bad.
By the way, that wasn't really highlighted. Lewis Hall seems to be ahead of Cucurella right now.
And rightfully so.
Seems to be. He is.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, he is.
He
It
is.
not even seems to be. Yeah, you're right. He is.
62 million Cucurella, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Hall's got. I like Hall's composure. Do you know what I mean? And what I mean is that the way he's dealing with having to come into the Chelsea into a bad team at a hard time. Is new manager. Got some great players around you. You're nobody. Like, he's kind of handling himself very well in that way. Like, he's getting burnt up on that side a lot of the times as well. But what I mean is, like, I think he's just handling the burn quite well for a young individual. You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh,
well
man.
done to you. You got a lot of character. I like it.
Jesus.
It's true, but he did make that was a bad mistake though. He made the other day, because he did the hard work. He tried to make the guy like buy your box, and then Willian went and scored, and he missed the sitter. At the other.
Yes, yeah, but you gotta learn. You gotta learn, bro.
You
Sometimes
gotta get thrown in the fire.
Look, sometimes it takes 5 years to learn. Look at Xhaka. Long time took him to learn certain things. But you gotta learn, bro.
Hey, Wenger the prophet. Salute to Uncle Wenger, man. He saw something.
Yeah.
It took years.
Yeah,
but
cool, awesome.
Yes, man. Trust me. But yeah, so yeah, what do we think their biggest deficiency is? Are we saying this right wing back? Because we mentioned Chicken Royale and Gary Doherty. Is it that side or is it the other side? Or is it both? Like, what do we think? Where do we think we can get some quick wins out
Eric
of
Dyer,
game?
is he playing?
He seems to be a Conte favorite. He plays.
That's
I don't know how you want me to hone in on an individual or something like that. There's so many places where they are failing right now.
You can shoot your shots anywhere, man.
Like,
Hit anybody.
Look, do you know what I mean is like there's too much backwards passing in their half when they have the ball. Okay, for one, it takes them too long to get forward, and then sometimes when they get forward, they're too overzealous with it, and they leave everyone behind, so there's not enough people to carry the attack, and it goes nowhere as well. And to counter attack people in whilst they're in transition is very easy. They just don't. They're not holding on to the ball as well as they used to. You know what I mean? There's giving the ball away too much. Too many of their players are turning into danger like they ain't learned the opposite throughout their whole career. You know, like it's just there's just a lot of things exposing them right now, and it's like it's like they feel uncomfortable when they got the ball. They need to be off the ball and defending. That's what they need to be comfortable. They just get the ball and do 3 passes maximum. Ball gone. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And when you got the ball, they're not trying to even tackle you. They're just trying to contain you. It's just very passive, bro. Do you know what I mean? And so there's just a lot of areas where you can just beat them. And the first area is the manager, bruv. Like, I don't know what his problem is. I don't know why he's afraid to attack people. I don't know why his hands are always up and he's like just taking beats. Like, bruv, come and attack like you were at Chelsea. Do something. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, but at the same time, Spurs against Arsenal, form goes out the window. No, it does. This doesn't mean that it's not going to be a hard game, and it doesn't mean that they're not going to win or pull out a draw. Like this is just observation from what they've been playing on the last few games.
Yeah,
shit football. Excuse my language.
Yeah, man, they're really good at that. They're really good at that. Really good. All right, so let's get into some predictions then. I'll start with John. You're on my right. Who do we give the Arsenal game to?
Predictions. Damn. I don't think Spurs will win. I'm torn between a 1-1 and a 2-1 Arsenal win.
Okay. Which one would you go for? Which one's the more prominent one in your head?
Safety first says 1-1.
1-1. Okay.
I might go 1-1. Yeah.
Man, when was the last time it was a draw in the derby, in the North London derby?
That's a good point.
I haven't seen a derby just on the top of my head. I can't think of one, honestly.
Because we always beat them at our ground. They always beat us at theirs.
Yeah, I haven't seen a draw in years. It feels like years anyway.
It feels like years.
I think there was one not too long ago, you know.
Let me try and find it 1 second.
I think there was a season where we beat them and we drew with them.
Last North London derby draw.
You might be right, you know. I feel like we drew 2-2 or something.
I think it was 1-1. It was very slim.
Oh, it looks like it's 2018. There was one.
What's got 1-1?
Yeah. I don't know what website this is, but it said Ramsey scored and then Kane scored a penalty in the 74th minute. I don't remember this game at all.
I don't remember this game. What game is that?
I feel like this website's lying to me.
Oh, yes. 2018. Remember when Aubameyang missed the late pen at Wembley?
And it was saved.
Aubameyang missed the late pen. Loris saved it, and then Aubameyang missed the header rebound too.
Yeah.
Emery. It was under Emery, yeah.
Somewhat rings a bell.
2019, yeah.
Yeah, that was a Premier League game. Yeah, so that was the last time there was a draw. Okay, so not as long as I thought then. But you're going to say 1-1, yeah?
You go 1-1.
All right, Rash, how do you call it?
I call it. All right. If it is struggling for goals, Arsenal, I see an Arsenal win. And if it's free-flowing Arsenal, I see an Arsenal win. So it's an Arsenal win is what I think.
Fair enough.
Scoreline, if it's a struggling Arsenal, 1-0 Arsenal. If it's the free-flowing Arsenal, I'm talking like 5-1.
Oh,
whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I
don't think they can handle it. Movement is a madness, bruv.
That would be a crazy.
John, clip this. Because if Rash turns out to be the prophet, we're gone.
This is a cliff.
The lowest level of the word prophet as possible, though. I just want to make that clear.
Yes.
As someone who predicts something and it just comes true,
Yeah.
that level. Everyone
Oh
knows
man.
what Jeff is actually saying here. All right, cool.
He took himself away from that
Yeah,
fast.
yeah.
Hey, that's
Yo,
funny.
He's like, no, I don't want that smoke back. So,
Oh
Hell
man,
no.
that's funny. That social media call will be endless. I can't lie.
Oh, trust.
But I agree with your first answer. I think Arsenal are gonna win 1-0. I think it's gonna be a messy game. I don't think it's gonna be a free flowing Arsenal. But I think we're resilient enough to get through it. Like our defense is good, very good. Our attack is very good. I'm gonna go with an Nketiah winner.
Hey, my
Jeez.
boy Nketiah.
I'm like Eddie.
Listen,
Yeah.
guys, I think we need to discuss a medium-sized elephant in the room. Yeah, with Arsenal right now.
Medium size, okay.
Yeah, and I want to bring it up, and I think it's the and it's not a big worry, but it's slightly lately I haven't been very impressed with Saliba's performances. I think
Oh yeah.
there's been a few holes in his game lately, and these are the things that are. This is the only thing that I'm worrying about this game that's coming up. His inability to turn fast or be aware of what's going on behind him. A second look. His agility is not very good for some reason when he's on the turn, and his decision making when the ball is coming down but very close to him, can't sort out whether he wants to chest it sometimes or knee it first and bring it down. And even the goal that we conceded against Brighton, I think it's the one where was it Brighton where the young lad come on like late and scored the goal?
Yeah,
Ferguson.
Brighton.
Yeah, he just
Ferguson.
couldn't sort himself out, and
Last
like
feet.
I've seen that a few times recently. I'm just a bit, yeah, but it might be good for Arsenal because he might now stop playing hard ball and be like, "Yo, I'm not as good as I thought I would. Let me sign that contract still." Do you know what I mean? So it could silver linings. So but yeah, that's the only. Like, I'm quite worried about that. But at the same time, to counter that, it's better he gets it out now and it gets identified now and then he's young enough for it not to be an issue. Do you know what I mean? And to fix very quickly. But the other positive is that Gabriel's been playing amazing. So
Exactly. Yeah,
that's a plus.
I think that's the thing with those two. Like Saliba started the season on fire. Of course, everyone was saying how amazing he is. And Gabriel was in question with a lot of people because they were saying, "Oh yeah, he's rash." Rightly so. 3 mistakes in that 3 games is something you need to work on. But then Saliba's game, we mention on the last one too. We said that. So yeah, Saliba's game since the World Cup it hasn't been at his normal like high standard. It's just been a slight drop off. Don't know what it was about that World Cup. Maybe it was not featuring. I'm not sure. I don't know if like what it was exactly. But
something in the changing room or something.
Yeah, he definitely needs to get it back. I wouldn't say it's a cause for concern though, because just is a bit like his ceiling is so high that, and it's still a new league. Like you're still coming from the French league, so like these kind of things are expected to have. It's like teething problems to me. Like a lot of his mistakes, like it's a little bit of uncertainty and it's a little bit of like real bad cockiness. Like even when he was playing well, he had that where it's just like, all right, bro, there's a difference between confidence and stupidity. Like where you're turning in the box and it looks great, but the other side is where you turn in the box and you got a busy striker who might nick it off you and go and score, then you look stupid. So you just need to get that balance right. Like, I still think he's a great young centre back, one of the best one of the best young centre backs around. 100. And I just think him and Gabriel like complement each other really well. So like when Saliba isn't playing too well, Gabriel seems to be like the rock and he can kind of like pick it up. And then when Gabriel's down, Saliba seems to be great. So
that's what you need.
Yeah, that's how good partnerships work. And if we're saying that, like if Saliba's been up and Gabriel's been down, and then Gabriel's been up and Saliba's been down, and we're 5 points clear, then imagine what they're gonna do when they work in sync.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think
we've seen glimpses of that. We've seen that when they have had really good games as well. So we know what it can be. We know it can be.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. let's get to. So, are we gonna do the combined 11, or we're gonna move on to the City game?
I think we can do this combined 11 quick.
Yeah, man. Let's do that.
All right. So, all right, we'll start with you, John. Goalkeeper.
Ramsdale.
Cool. Rash, right back.
Blanco.
Benny. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll do one of the centre backs. I would pick. Well, Saliba would be one of them for sure.
Mm.
And then
John.
John, the other centre back.
Probably Romero. To be fair.
Yeah.
But Gabriel's got closer since I have to say
it's
he's got close. He's got a lot closer.
It's not a big distance.
It's not a big distance. I'll probably still give Romero the edge. Slightly, even though his rashness does annoy me, even though I'm not a Spurs fan.
I'm gonna say he's been losing his mind lately.
I'm not a Spurs fan.
That guy don't play around.
He's mad. I don't like overly rash.
He gets to it. He doesn't care who's there.
Yes, he gets busy, bro.
Like,
that guy thinks he's
mad
playing
rash
in the
centre backs in a key moment they could always cost you, and I don't like that. But for now, I'll give it to Romero. But Gabriel's definitely closed the gap on him. I mean, it's only between them two because Eric Dyer,
Dyer,
which is
Langley. I also want to put this. I've disliked Langley severely since he was at Barca. He stinks.
He's.
Oh my god! he's just lucky he's got like a somewhat like fancy name, Clement Langley.
Yeah. He sounds like he should be like a good player, like. But
let him have been English. He wouldn't have made it out of Oxford United.
But I like Gil, man. Gil's been playing good. I like that.
Brian.
Yeah,
he can play, man.
He's unusually talented. I didn't just looking at him. You wouldn't think that he's a baller, but my man's a baller. Like
he just seems bare random at Spurs.
Yeah.
It's just random. It's just unfortunate that you got Son in the position where you like to play, and then Kulusevski kind of established himself, and then there's Richarlison. They spent 60 million on. So he'll probably be on the bench when it comes to Sunday. Rash, left back.
Zinchenko.
Yeah,
Zinny. Okay. And then centre mids. We want to do this together.
Partey and Xhaka.
Xhaka.
That's what I'm saying. I know Bentancur, if he's available, he's good and all that stuff. And I know Højbjerg's been like a rock for them sometimes. But I don't care. Them two together ain't better than Xhaka and Partey right about now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if maybe Bentancur with Xhaka, but even that, Xhaka's closed the gap this season. But Partey's undisputed.
Last time we did this, I think we did this, and we put Bentancur over Xhaka, and Bentancur played, and he had a mare, and we smoked Tottenham, I think, in the last game.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, he didn't play too well, but
yeah,
I probably would give the nod to Bentancur personally.
Yeah, Bentancur's good.
I think he's a really, really, really good player. Like really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Xhaka. That's an honorable mention to Xhaka, man, because 18 months ago, I wouldn't even have heard his name.
Yeah,
he'd have been one of the lot. He'd have been on a combined 11, bro.
Hey, bro, we used to abuse Xhaka, you know.
Oh man, constantly.
I looked over some old videos. Yo, sorry.
We're pulling no punches, bro.
Sorry, my guy.
Everything.
I didn't care. I didn't even care what I was saying. I apologize.
Bro,
yeah.
I apologize. I deserved it.
He did deserve it.
He deserved it, man.
I guess the other centre mid is a shoe, and we all agree it's Odegaard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no debate.
Right. Okay. That's
who else would it even be?
Basuma. Basuma.
Yeah, that's a sign of how Basuma's falling off, you know.
Yeah, because we say this. Yeah,
It would have been.
because-
It could have been Partey and Basuma. But that's
Yeah.
how you know he's fallen off because we didn't even think about him.
And remember, Basuma was highly coveted. Obviously, the price was cheap. We didn't know what was
25
going on
mil.
with his situation, but it was the price was cheap. You're like, that you have to buy Basuma.
Yeah.
And just shows that sometimes systems don't always work for you. Like it's gone to Spurs, and he hasn't even been able to impose himself in Spurs yet. Like Højbjerg it's like Højbjerg saw someone was coming and decided, you know what, I'm gonna turn up my game even more. And now Basuma like struggles to play, and when he does, it's in a free, and Spurs just look very, very limited. So it looks like us waiting and not buying Basuma could work in our favor, because it looks like we're gonna have even more options now. Though I think the main reason people wanted Basuma is because we probably had limited options in August.
And Partey's injury record.
And it's just like, like let's get someone else in who's just as athletic. Now, 5-6 months on, it looks like, all right, we should finish with a Champions League spot. And I think we can agree on that. And then that widens the transfer key, so then we can get more people.
That's already mad, bro. Just thinking about being back in champs.
It's been 6 long years, man.
Hearing that theme music, bro.
Oh, that theme music again.
Might have. The price for the first game is going to be nuts at the Emirates, but we got to try.
Trust me.
We're going to be selling it for 4 bags outside the stadium.
Oh, trust me.
And then this part this comment quick because Jalil said everyone but me. Shaka. Bro, I can't lie, bro. Even you, Jalil, said we should sell Shaka, man. I'm not gonna let you have this one, bro. There's no way you backed everybody, bro. Impossible. I'm sorry,
Jalil. We're not doing this because in the 6 years he's been there, you've also been on the side where we've been. It may be in the later years where you were a supporter.
Yeah, you've been here
when we stopped, but there were times where you also agreed with us. Yes,
Facts.
Yes.
Facts.
I haven't started.
Listen, if you are with the crew beating up someone and you don't do anything to stop it, you're
one of us.
You're one of us. Join enterprise, you go down.
Look, he knows. He's laughing, man.
No, you see, now this is what he's doing. Now he said, so what? I didn't back him.
Nope, we're not saying that.
This guy here.
What is backing? That's backing.
This guy's good.
I love Shaka, but we still need to
that's
upgrade
backing. Don't back me ever, bro.
This guy, oh man. Now this guy's good. We didn't say you didn't back him. We're just saying that you've also been on our side.
Yeah.
It hasn't been a consistent 6 years.
There's no way. No way.
It hasn't been a 6 years of just Xhaka is acceptable. It's also been times where you've wanted replacements too.
Yeah.
Like, I would still like an upgrade, and I like Xhaka now. Like, I think
Same. Yeah. You still need an upgrade, but
it doesn't change it. Like you've shown that you're a very, very valuable member of the team. You've been a secret weapon. It doesn't mean we can't upgrade.
Bruv, I can see something. Do you know what? I can just see at the back end of the transfer window, just Mudryk over the line, something like Tielemans over the line, and just another one over the line. I can just see it happen like this. I just reckon there's a lot of things going on in the background of this Mudryk deal. I think there's other things going on, and this Mudryk deal is just being pushed to the front, so we just can't see what's going on behind in the back doors with the other transfers, man. Like, I reckon, because it's been clear, they've said that in areas that we feel we can build, we're going to utilize every transfer window. I think it's a must in order to be competitive. And if we can fill X, Y, Z areas, then so forth, why wouldn't they? Do you know what I mean? Unless they've either got big plans for the positions in summer, or they're just trying to keep it on the low, man. But I think it's just going to be like that, man.
I hope so. I hope you're right. All right, before we get to the City United game, last 3 positions. A right wing, Xhaka or Kulusevski?
Right wing, Saka or Kulusevski?
Yeah, Saka. I think I said Xhaka. Saka, sorry. Saka and Kulusevski. Saka, yeah.
But I just want to highlight how amazing Saka is, by the way.
Oh,
wow,
no,
he's growth, the growth that, bruv, he's
seriously developed.
Very, very intelligent young player, man, and very, very strong.
It's the confidence as well. You can just see it, bruv. Like the way he challenges for the ball, the way even when he loses the ball, like you could like it's just like I shouldn't be losing the ball. What's wrong? Like, do you know what I mean? Like it's yeah.
His
Shout out to
most
the boy.
impressive thing is his character to me, because it's not like he's had small lows, like obviously the final. Well, that's a big low, like
That's a
missing a
big
penalty
low.
in the final, and then all the abuse he happened afterwards, and then
You
this
might not have a
season,
bigger low.
yeah, that's a huge one,
Yeah,
because
definitely.
England in a final, and then the wrath of the whole country on your back, or not the whole country, a large portion of the country on your back, and then this season too, when he wasn't scoring, wasn't assisting, people what's going on with him? Is he even that good? And then he turned it around fast, and now everyone's silent again. So that Saka and Kulusevski conversation is always going to be an interesting one, because similar ages, slightly different skill sets, kind of goes to what you prefer. But yeah, I'll go with Saka too.
I wouldn't really mind starting both of them.
And then you're saying Kane, no Son.
Bro, Son's just been thinking too much.
No, of course no, son. Son ain't
Son's
been playing,
just thinking too much.
Son ain't been playing, bro.
Like I know you can stink, but he's literally outside of, he hasn't scored, of course. But it's like, okay, now this is one of the seasons you're not scoring. Show me what else you have to your game, and you've shown me nothing. I'm just like, bro.
No, Son's good, and he's a great player. He's been playing shit.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, he's been
I
playing
prefer Saka right, and then Kulusevski left. I think Kulusevski might be better than Martinelli. Personally, might be better.
No way, not to me.
You don't think?
Martinelli is gold at the moment. Unplayable. Arsenal, Gunners, all the way.
He said a lot there. Oh snap! I was trying to get my head around. He said Gunners all day.
Gunners, gold. Emirates Stadium, hybrid.
All day, every day.
Oh, that's funny, man. Oh man, it's close again. Like it's close. I guess on current form, you'd say Kulusevski hasn't been playing. He's been injured a lot. So if we're going off that,
you know what? Let me get this out now while we're top and doing good. I have a small Martinelli gripe.
You've always had one.
You know what? At the beginning I didn't, but then it grew over time. Sometimes I think he's a bit, what's the word? Scatty.
Yeah, he's erratic. He's definitely erratic.
Very erratic. And maybe I just don't like erratic players. That just might be it.
No, I actually think he's fixed that.
Not completely.
It's in his nature.
But
he's not going to. But that's the thing. He's not going to fix that.
You see it less than more. Before he was like, you see it all the time. Like,
no, you see it way
less. I think Arteta's had many words with him, because he even remember there was a time last year Arteta didn't trust him. Like he was fit and he was coming off the bench. Like he wasn't starting, and then he's much more controlled now. I think just the erraticness is just a part of his game, but I also think it's now a plus. If you know how to use it, it becomes an unorthodox thing, because the way he runs with the ball sometimes, it looks like it should. What happened with Havertz, where he ran out of play, should happen all the time. Like the way he runs with the ball sometimes, it's like raw. What?
How do you do that?
I think,
but the way he does it, in a way, he's ghosting people when he's doing it. Like they're not getting close to him. So I think it's gone from something I didn't like to something I kind of appreciate, because it's not like he don't have technical ability
and accept it as part of his actual play.
It's there. It's part of his game, but he's definitely cut it down a lot. But it's just it's probably just a preference thing in terms of prefer Saka over Martinelli, because Saka's a bit more cultured.
I think this has something to do with it personally. Because you said Conte at Chelsea needs the Prem's greatest hazard. I think that has a lot to do with it.
That's not me, bro.
That's not you?
Nah, bro.
No.
It's a similar thing. That's why I like Saka, because he's very smart. His IQ's high. He makes others better. So I mean, Martinelli does so in his own way, but Saka for 21, his IQ is
Yeah.
Even at
But
19, he was able to play left back at 19
Saka's
in
30.
that kind of style.
Saka's 30.
Saka's 30. In his mind, he's 30. The way he plays
Yeah.
the game, but you could say this, like Saka is a much better team player. Martinelli is one of those players who could probably go to different teams and be a complete different outlier. Like he seems like his ceiling could maybe still be a little higher. I'll say that. Just because he's
Saka,
yeah, go ahead.
do you think he has similarities? I'm not saying he'll be. They're different as well, but in terms of that transition from like left back to this, like Bale. Look how Bale was like a left back at Spurs, and then out of nowhere, Redknapp just tried him on the wing, and he starts cooking.
Yeah,
Now, obviously, Bale's a different type of player, but I see some similarities in that transition between. I don't think Saka can reach that level of Bale.
I do. I actually like look, I'm not even gonna hold back. Yeah. I'm sold on Saka. I think out of all the young talent in his age group, I actually think right now he is the best to come out of England. Okay. And I think he's in the top 3 in the world at his age. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Even
actually
I'd take, you know what? Sorry to interrupt you, Rash. Even I'd take Saka over Foden.
yeah, right now.
I've changed my mind on that.
Yeah, you know what is like, I'll say this because I kind of agree with Rash, like on the top 3 maybe young players in the world. There was even that thing when it was in our group chat the other day of all the young players, like where would you put Saka? So he probably would be up there. Like I went away and thought about it, he would be up there. He'd be right up there.
Who did you have ahead of him?
Possibly Musiala as one.
Pedri?
Yeah.
No, I maybe at one time I thought at one time I thought but for me no. I mean, if you're asking me who I think it's a trio right now, and or it'll be wrong to leave out Vinicius Junior to me, because
He's 22, right? How old is he?
He's 22, maybe 23 now.
To me, I think he's in the bubble. And what I mean is that let's just say between 18 and 23, that region there, that age group there, even. And I think it'll be wrong to leave him out of it, but I don't. If I was to choose who I think is the top 3, I reckon it'll be Saka, Bellingham, and Musiala right now. That's who I would say right now.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not like the Foden one. That's an interesting one. That's probably one we can spend more time on another episode.
It deserves it because he's a brilliant player.
Yeah, like even like the English talent, we can just talk about the young English talent and say where do we rank them? We can probably do that. Like, because I don't even want to do a quick one on Saka versus Foden. I would like to spend some time on it. That's a good one. I think that's a real good one.
It is a good one. I just think with Saka, Saka's even a little bit more adaptable. Like Saka can play left. Saka can play left. We know he can play right. If he played for City, could I see him cooking? I see him cooking. He likes the link play.
He does. I say this though, like with Foden can do similar things. He can play left, he can play right, he can play central. The problem is, in one game, I saw Foden play 3 different positions in the same match. Like,
I think I know what game you're talking about as well.
Yeah, it's like the adaptability. Like sometimes Pep does that, where he might just, because of the way he wants to play, he might just throw you anywhere, and that might then in turn just affect the development of the player. Because Foden looked great last season, and he was playing in one specific place, and now this season he's still, but his numbers are still good. Don't get me wrong, but now in the past few games, it's kind of like, Pep drops him, or he's playing him in one position, and next game it's another one. And it's kind of what we were saying with Saka earlier. Saka's probably like trajectory with it has probably been a little bit better because Saka played left mid, left back, centre mid, right wing, false 9. He's probably played several places for Arsenal and he's probably dealt with it a little better. But that's why I think it's a good debate because they've kind of gone through different things in their career already.
I used to be on the Foden train with regards to that debate, but I've seen some, I don't know, stagnation in this game, and I've seen things in Saka's game that I like.
Yeah, he's elevating. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah, man.
It's his IQ, man. His IQ is
top notch.
Stupid. Yeah.
IQ goes a long way, man.
Yeah, we got YL in the building in the comments. Told man Arsenal for the title. Oh dear. Asking for the lottery numbers.
He did say at the start of the season. He did say it.
Yeah.
I thought you were nuts.
We thought it was trolling.
I still think you're a little bit nuts.
I still think he was trolling.
Yeah.
I think you still think he was trolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's see. Like, if you're right, hey, statue made for YL, please, outside the Emirates.
Trust.
And then Mbappe, surely. I'll say Mbappe doesn't even count. I think Mbappe just turned 24, but even if he was 23, he's the best player in the world. There's nothing left to talk about with him.
Yeah, he's in a different category. I'm not talking about Mbappe when I'm talking about people that Mbappe's age.
Mbappe has proven for the past 4 years since he's been on the scene. He's won a World Cup for his country when he missed the first game. He's taken his country to another World Cup, and he's proven that he's as big a star or a bigger star, however you judge it, as Neymar. And that's in 4 years.
Final, boy.
Yeah, that's some impact on the game of football.
Scored a hat-trick in the final and scored his penalty in the shootout.
Yeah. And YL says he's not trolling. Yeah. I don't know.
We don't know anymore as Arsenal fans. We can't tell, but yeah.
Hey, YL, just smash the like.
You man have trolled us. You man have trolled us for years. You know what I mean? I'm not used to these compliments. Let's go.
It's true though. It's very true. The Jedi mind tricks of the other fans. We see you. So all right, let's get into the City United game. That's a 12:30 game tomorrow. From what I see, I think Stones is injured. Stones has probably been their best defender so far this. Yeah, I saw it. What you see that? What's that City Extra page?
Oh they're reliable.
Yeah. So yeah, they'll definitely. It's on Sky Sports too. They'll definitely be without John Stones, he's done a 360 in his career, man.
He's his best youngster.
Yeah, at the moment he is.
I genuinely believe that.
He's been on fire. Ruben Diaz is out. So those are the two injuries there. And then United have got Dalot out. Van der Beek, who is not a factor at all, is out for the rest of the season. Bit of a sad story with him.
It is a sad story, man.
Yeah, and then Martial is touch and go.
He did it again.
Yeah, he got like a leg injury, or who knows, man? Who knows with that guy? Maybe he just didn't get the meal he wanted one day, and he decided not to play. You never know with that guy. Such a moody guy, man.
Well, to be fair, he's mad injury prone now as well.
He's at 25, 26. What's going on?
These guys have got bones of 85-year-olds, man. I don't know.
What's the matter with you? You got the exposure to the best facilities.
Yeah, trust me. That man moving like me. What's going on? Jeff knows what I'm talking about.
Rash got one bad knee, man. The knee or the ankle. You never know when it's gonna go.
The last set of injuries was all muscular. I just didn't know what was going on. I was like, yo, why are all my muscles just ripping right now?
it's taking me out. Yeah. Oh man. But all right, so what do we make of it? Like, we have those injuries or those potential sidelines. So Stones is confirmed. Martial is touch and go. Dalot is out. With that taken into consideration, the 12:30 game, how do we see this playing out, man?
Maguire can't play. Not against Haaland. Devastation.
Oh my God! Imagine. Imagine them in a foot.
He won't play. He will not play.
Imagine you got all that. Maguire got all them plaudits from the English fans about his World Cup. Came back. Sit your ass on the bench.
Sit your ass on the bench. Yeah. You and I know what's going on. Yeah. You can tell the people you roll with whatever you want.
He's linked with leaving anyway. Like, I see links with Maguire leaving.
He's
on a lot of money. So.
Was it Villa or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. It came out and said.
Came out quick and said, "Nah, these are fake rumors."
No, sir.
Okay.
Mings and Maguire in the back would be crazy.
That'll be wild.
Yeah, it'd be insanity.
Bushwhackers. WWF star. Listen, trust
But
me.
yeah, how do we see this going, lads, man? What do we think is going to happen? We slightly touched on it earlier, but all right, let's get straight into results, and then we can explain why.
That John Stones injury is peak still. That
Yeah,
John Stones injury is peak.
does that affect
Diaz
what
is
you
out
think is
too.
gonna? Does
You
that
say
affect what you
Diaz
think
is
gonna
out
come
as
out?
well, did you say?
Diaz
Yeah,
is out too.
yeah, he's out. He's out. Been out from
Well, so who is
a
it?
lot of the season.
Ake and
What,
who?
maybe a Kanji and Laporte?
Yeah, because I
Has
can't
been
see
those two
Ake.
actually. It has been those two actually, hasn't it? I
Yeah,
think
it has.
Wasn't Ake injured as well?
He's left
Yeah,
back, I think.
Yeah, Ake's been playing well. So I'd see if they got a left back available, maybe Cancelo will play. I could probably see him playing, even though he's been a
Yeah,
little
because
out of
Walker's
form.
back. Walker against
Yeah.
Rashford.
Yeah, Walker, that'll
Don't
be a
need him.
decent battle.
The way
And then-
Rashford's playing right now, he might cook him.
Mm,
He might cook him.
Walker's been playing
Yeah.
well.
He has.
Yeah. Like even the last game, I know he was playing centre back, so I couldn't judge him as much. But that first goal was his mistake.
Yeah, he's just not used to that. Yeah, he shouldn't have an aware. He don't have that awareness of a centre back.
He don't.
Yeah, you're right.
Shouldn't
You're
be-
right.
He
shouldn't
relies
be
on
done.
his pace.
You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. But yeah, Ake and Laporte at the moment, I love Laporte. Ake has been playing really well. Laporte doesn't deserve to start. Ake deserves to start. So
I
it
think they'll
should
both
be
start.
Yeah.
Huh?
I think they'll both start.
I can't see two left-footed centre backs playing. Like Ake
No,
might
but
play
I
left.
think he'll put Ake left back.
Yeah, maybe that's the case.
Because Cancelo's been stinking the place out, innit?
Yeah, man. Since the World Cup, man, that probably affected him.
Yeah.
Gallo
it
went
did.
and took his place.
Mm.
Fast.
Mad.
Shows how system-based football can be sometimes, man. Because Cancelo is an amazing player. I love Cancelo, but
I love him, yeah.
it just depends on the team a lot of the time now, man. It really does.
Yeah.
So yeah, John, give me a scoreline, man.
I'm gonna say 2-1 United.
2-1 United. Okay.
I think United win the game.
Right.
I
Okay.
think United win the game. Obviously, it's better for them if they have Martial as opposed to Elanga, just because Elanga's so bad. Even a half-fit Martial is probably better than Elanga. So hopefully he plays. But I think I'll give them 2-1. I think just see you're not clicking. Rash was on form. Bruno might just turn up, and I think Casemiro might just say, "Let me put in a performance."
Hey, I was going to say this again. We had an episode in August, and I didn't say he was going to fail at all, but you questioned why Real Madrid are selling this guy at 29 or 30 for £60 million. Is he past his prime slightly? And then even his start, like you even said that his start, it'll probably take a while to get going. And he did. He is on fire.
Casemiro is a baller.
Man.
Let me ask you, man, now that we've seen him properly in the Prem, start, bench, or sell between him, Rodri, and Partey, what would you do?
Man, that question is very, very difficult.
Yeah, and I don't think it's right for you just to throw that onto us just like that.
Yeah,
that's
sorry.
deep.
Like...
But I was gonna answer it, but I was like, bro.
Yeah, no. You can because you
bad.
might help me out.
Like, bro, like I'll put it this way: Casemiro starts.
Yes.
That's the best DM in the Premier League. Like he always had the credentials. You might have thought, all right, what's he gonna do when he gets here? All right, he's showing you that.
Bro.
Listen, it's different. Yeah, because
Rodri
is considered one of the best in the world. So is Partey. Yeah.
So is Rodri, to be fair.
Yeah, so is Rodri's up there too. I say the Rodri and Partey one. I don't want to answer that. That's tough.
What do you think about this?
Partey is food. Only Arsenal man think he is levels to man like Miro and Rodri. Whoa,
here's what I'm saying. Gunners all the way. Yeah, dash Ray Rodri. I'll put Partey as on the bench and dash Ray Rodri. Say it with my chest.
I like it.
I might have to bench Partey as well and sell Rodri.
See,
Partey's cold, you know. But I mean, Rodri's a mad player. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, but Partey is unbelievable. So when you watch his game, you're just like, Whoa.
That one's it's tough. That's
It's
one of
hard.
those, to me, it changes maybe
Yes,
every
yeah.
2 weeks. Like
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah,
different
yeah,
types of DMs. Like Partey is all awareness and threading passes between defenses, like threading them, like
And
finding
cutting play.
Odegaard and just taking 6 men out of the game, or 6 men out of the game with one turn. Rodri is more, he's like an immovable object. He's like a one-man defensive midfielder in there. Like when City go
Literally,
bombing on, Rodri's there, he'll break up attacks by himself. He'll actually foul somebody. Like he's not missing the foul. Like he'll foul.
And in the final 10 minutes, he is dangerous around the edge of the box.
Yeah, he can shoot.
That's true.
He's good in the
That's
air.
true. That's true.
Yeah. That's a very good point.
Keep that boy on smash. Trust.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be mad selling Partey and benching Rodri. Like you said, that one.
Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. But again, that will change every 2 weeks. He said, I'll just get to YL's comments. He said a lot here. He said, sell Rodri, face green, or smiley face. He said, Partey's been doing it consistently for 3 months. Man.
Yeah. Okay. That's a bit libby. It's because last season was a good season for Arsenal because of his performances, and when he got injured, that's when we messed up. So I disagree with you.
Yeah, that was a little harsh.
Yeah, and he's been doing it at Atletico his whole career. So
let's not forget.
I disagree with you, bro.
Did they both play together at Atletico?
I don't think so.
They might have, They must have. They must have.
Surely they overlapped.
I don't feel like
because Rodri. I know Rodri. How old Rodri?
He's about 27.
When did Rodri join Man City?
3-4 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm sure they
must have.
I feel like they were there at the same time. Whether they played together, whether they played together, I'm not sure.
Oh, he was only Atletico for 1 year.
There you go. So when Partey left, Rodri is kind of the replacement.
No, I think vice versa. Rodri joined Arsenal in 2020, right?
I thought it was 2019. No, you might be right. It might have been 2020.
No, they did. It says here that Rodri and Partey played together in the midfield for Atletico Madrid before the Spaniard moved to the Etihad in 2019 and the Ghanaian switched to the Emirates in 2020.
Okay, there we go. That's been answered. But Partey's work at Atletico does get swept under the rug because of the injury problems he's had at Arsenal.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's as clear cut as people are making it. But I think I'll probably have Rodri better. I think Rodri is probably just a little better. But Partey is exceptional. Let's say that, like exceptional. Like we see what he does when he's out. We're scared as Arsenal fans that he will be injured because the golfing class between him and Elneny is humongous. No disrespect to Elneny because I actually like Elneny.
My brother, yeah, man.
Yeah, great model professional, but we gotta call a spade, man. Partey is
levels.
One of our close to world class players, if not world class.
Yes,
depending on how you say it.
Yeah.
To me, he is. But yeah,
yeah.
Rash scoreline.
It's weird because this can go a number of ways, man. I can see an all-out first half destroying performance from City, and United maybe scoring 1 goal in the second half. I can see it being something like 3-1 by the 60th minute to City. But at the same time, I can see vice versa as well. I can see United coming out of the blocks quick and just surprising City and just destroying them immediately because City have not looked impressive lately. They just haven't. And they have left a lot of gaps recently. Like when they're going into the attack, or even when they're not even in full blown attack, man. When the play just switches on them and it goes from attack to defense, they're just not as efficient as we know them to be recently. So I think United could give them a caning in the space of 15 minutes. If they get a couple goals, it could be a problem, So it's hard, but then I can also see them both just kind of cancelling themselves out as well. So I'm really on the fence with what I actually think's going to happen. I just think I know what the possibilities are, and it's either a dominant City first half, a dominant United first half, or a draw. That's what I can see. Sorry, no score.
Damn.
Hmm.
Oh man.
I can't
Alright.
choose between the lot, so it's you, man.
It's man 50-50, man. I can't
It's
lie.
tough. Just off of prior performances at Old Trafford, I'm gonna give the nod to City.
Fair enough.
I'll go 2-1. But I think it's gonna be a very, very, very tough game. I think if Martial doesn't play, which something tells me he might not play, that Weghorst is not available
Weghorst,
yet.
is he not
He's not-
available? I thought he got
Even
done.
that
Nah,
sign.
nah.
Talking about
You know
man,
what?
Weghorst is quality, man. Talking about man
No,
there. Go.
I'll say this, like, oh man, like he's
Man, I got-
he's okay, but
yeah, man.
He's
They said
okay.
he's
He's
got-
okay. He's okay.
Did he
But
get 3 appearances for Burnley? Is it Burnley? 3 appearances for Burnley. Yeah, man.
he scored against United.
Those
if
games
I'm
were
not
good,
mistaken.
bro.
he actually
Yeah,
did. He scored.
Yeah, I
games-
remember the
yeah.
goal.
those
That's when
games were good,
Maguire
man.
got turned up. He said,
Yeah.
"The games are good."
He got turned up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He got the assist. He cooked Maguire in the build-up. I swear.
Cooked
Yeah,
him, yeah.
yeah.
Cooked him.
But you know what it is like, because he's not like it's not a permanent signing. It's just a loan, and I think he's just one. He's just another. How I see it is he's 6'5". He's just another option. Like I think the Igalo one was way worse than this.
Oh yeah.
Like this one is just like, all right, you're 6'5". Martial, we don't know if we can trust him fully. He's injured all the time. He's moody. Rashford can probably play up there too. All right, cool. We got this 6'5" guy. Throw him on in the 70th minute. Let him bully some man, and he might get a goal.
Literally.
Listen, I just want to say for the record, I loved the Igalo move. That was amazing. Yeah, I think that was a great transfer for United.
I
Yeah,
couldn't believe it.
and I loved every goal that he scores for them. All scrappy. It doesn't matter. Yeah,
He scored. Now he scored one banger. What?
Scored one
What a
banger.
Crazy goal.
Oh,
Left
that
foot
goal was
banger.
wild.
One
Yeah,
crazy goal.
Europa League,
Yeah.
but yeah.
But all
Europa
the
League,
rest,
but yeah.
kicking through 2 man to get the ball over the line. Amazing shit. Love it.
Yeah, but now him as a man, I thought that I laughed to myself several times.
Yeah.
Like several times. Like I couldn't believe it. Like
It
Igalo.
was madness.
Like
He
because
just,
it's
he
like
just had a holiday, innit? He just had like a 6-month holiday.
like 6
He was
months.
getting hella
6-month
peas.
holiday,
Well,
yeah.
actually, he was already making hella peas.
Yeah,
he
he
was
was making
killing it
peas.
in China.
Where's he? It was, yeah,
In
he was
China.
China, wasn't it? Yeah.
Killing it in China.
Getting it in.
But yeah, like, I think this one, I can see what they're trying to do. Like this is not a permanent move. If this is a permanent move, then I'm judging it totally differently. But
Yeah,
this
facts.
3-4 months, just to throw him on, like you got a busy end of the season coming up. Weghorst can cause some problems with some teams just in the air. We've seen what he did in the for Holland. Like
Yeah. I done a
it's,
second one. Man, don't rate Weghorst. I rate Weghorst.
I think
he's
I
just
think
okay.
He's
a
just okay,
fantastic
yeah.
signing. Man United fans need to be happy, bro. Man United fans
guy-
better be happy.
This guy
Lucky.
is trolling, man.
Oh man, oh, look, we got Wire on
Imagine
the
he scores against Arsenal next weekend. That'll be mad.
Hey,
Hey,
Rose.
knowing our luck, we saw what happened when Anthony he came on or he started and scored. Like we have that knack of
Yeah.
players always doing something against us. Why else is Jeff loans cost money? They went from Gakpo to Felix. So wow, we're good. Oh man. I'll say this though, like the loan is what is relatively low risk though. It's like 3 million.
Yeah, it's
Like-
nothing. Man United.
Like the Gakpo one, if you sign him, that's more of a statement signing. I actually think they dodged the bullet with Gakpo. I don't like Gakpo.
Neither
Hey,
do
John.
I. Yeah,
Do you know what's weird? Like, I like his attributes on paper.
Yeah,
I don't
It's
know
that.
why I don't like him.
I don't
know
like him.
why.
he doesn't do anything in games. Like
Looks
he's got
boring. He's a boring player. Very boring player.
Yeah.
he's got this good
Yes.
shot, and he's like kind of tall, rangy. Like
Yeah,
he's
he
got the
can get
physical
past
attributes.
players. Yeah, he
but
can get past players.
He just
Take him on.
doesn't. I don't think he has it. Like if you're United, like you've got Sancho, who you can work on trying to like bring him back in the team. I'll take my chances on Sancho before I'm signing Gakpo. I'll tell you that. Like the
And free
Sancho, yeah. Like now, let's hope he does what Rashford did. Like Rashford had his little bad spell, and he worked on himself, and he's firing again. Let's see what you're made of, Sancho. Let's
Let's
see.
just
You
hope
go
it doesn't
away.
take as long as it did for Rashford as well, though.
Yeah, you don't have a year. I'll tell you that. You have a month or two.
Yeah,
Like,
you ain't got
because people are sick of you. So you gotta come back swinging. Because at the moment it's looking like Garnacho is looking like a better outlet than you because you're just playing too safe. You need to come back on smoke.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the United one, I'll say like the Felix, that wouldn't have been a good one either because 10 million and plus the wages for 3 months with no obligation to buy is kind of pointless unless you're Chelsea and you don't know what you want. You're trying to just hijack deals.
Though they should have. I think United should have taken that gamble for Champions League, though, man.
I don't know, man.
Put him up top in that false nine.
He's a. I don't think they need a false nine. They're not that.
I don't think he's gonna bang at Chelsea. I don't think he should have gone there. I think he should have read
he
reviews.
definitely shouldn't have gone there.
I think he didn't have a choice.
Yeah, for real. I think because he wanted to get out of there so much, and because they just agreed, we'll do whatever you want.
Another couple of weeks, so you get.
They wanted him out too.
Yeah, they wanted him out as well. Simeone did.
Because they got FFP trouble. So if you get him out for 5-6 months, it might help your books. So because he's on a lot of money. And then at the end of the season,
why did they sign him to a new deal?
So they can sell him.
Like when there's if he does well at Chelsea and does what they think he can do. I don't know. I actually don't know.
He's got bad advice, man.
His agent's jerking him, bro. His agent is loving the deal that he got from the first transfer to Atletico. And it's like, okay, how can I salvage this as well and make some wins out of this?
Sancho is, not Sancho. Felix is a cold player, but I agree. I don't think he's gonna work the best at Chelsea because I just don't think. I think Potter's got a lot of work to do. I don't think he should be sacked because we've seen what that has done for Chelsea as of recent. That second thing, you sacked the guy who won the Champions League and a few other things, and you hired Potter. Stick by him, then. Don't give up after the first 3-4 months.
Yeah. Can't really blame Paul for any of the signings, really. Like you look at
Koulibaly.
You didn't sign Cucurella, Koulibaly. You know, me and you, Jeff, we thought he'll do well. Rash said he wouldn't. He hasn't done well at all. He's been stinking the place out. Oh, man. He's old. He's looking old.
The last game, he looked so out of place, man. I actually felt sorry for him still. I'm not going to lie.
It's just his decision making is just crazy as well. But then you look at Thiago Silva to his right-hand side, 38.
That's a Rolls Royce of the defender, man. That's their best player this season. And we need some more respect. Yeah, he needs some more respect on his name. When you talk about some of the best centre-backs ever in this modern game, talk about him too.
I was thinking about that the other day. I was thinking, like, as much as I love Van Dijk in those 2 years that he had an absolute peak, for the decade of 2010s, but even all time, I would personally take Thiago Silva over Van Dijk.
Because you can say this, Thiago Silva actually played a big team for the whole of the 2010s. Van Dijk, you came into your own towards the end of the 2010s and you did some amazing things. Like it wasn't just you though, and that's the things people forget. Like they signed Alisson as well. It wasn't just Van Dijk got signed and it was Liverpool an amazing defense. No, you got a keeper who probably wins you 12 points a season too. So Van Dijk is cold, but I'd love to get Lamps back up here one time and see if he still thinks Van Dijk is better than Ferdinand. Because I'll never forget the episode where he stood on it and he's like, Van Dijk is better
he's still on there.
Man. Shout out to Lamps, man. What
I want to say, John, I actually, I think I agree with you still. I agree with you. But you don't know already how I feel. I think Van Dijk is an amazing player. I think he's like one of the best. I think he is. But I also think he's overrated in the way that people overlook his faults and what he is not. They overlook that. And it's I don't get stars in my eyes. So you know what I mean? But yeah, I think he's a fantastic player. But yeah, I agree with you, man. Thiago Silva by miles.
Yeah, Chelsea.
Must.
Top
I
player,
agree.
man.
Let's get to the last comment before we start to wrap it up. So it says Sancho, he is a bigger flop than Pepe.
Let's pray it's not the case, man. Let's pray it's not.
Yeah,
I personally don't want that for Sancho. I like Sancho a lot. I think Sancho is a cold player. But again, these new
where it's at
players,
right now, bro.
yeah, at the moment, as it currently stands, yes.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. As it
Pepe
stands,
contributed to the pick up when.
yeah, like at this 18-month juncture,
Yeah,
yes.
It has to be.
So, yeah, because
has to be.
as much as I have a real disdain for Pepe now, but like that first year, he had to show some signs of promise, similar to Sancho, but there was things at least happening. Like there was goals, there was a few assists.
That's
Like
taking on players and
yeah,
stuff.
even though he needed a shotgun to his back, he was still taking someone on. Sancho is just playing. Like you're not
Yes.
really. You're just
It's an,
existing on the pitch. Like you're
it's an,
getting subbed 65th minute every game. Like before,
he's an imposter, bruv. It's an imposter. It's not Sancho.
he needs to get it together. But these new players, I think it's more about mentality than it is
Hey.
about ability, because that's why Mbappe is leaps and bounds above every other young player in football, because he's got the right mentality. Like he's not discouraged at all. Like if
Jesus
anything
the Great.
doesn't go as well, yeah. Like he's not discouraged. Like the PSG, you're the main guy. What last Euros, he didn't have a good Euros.
No,
He didn't.
awful
He didn't
Euros.
score. Yeah, and that didn't do anything to his World Cup. He came back and what? Well, 8 goals. Or was it 7?
8.
Hey, it must
It was
be.
8 goals. I think that
8.
equals the Ronaldo's in
The most.
2002.
Yeah, 9 too. Yes, it does.
3 goals in the final plus the penalty in the shootout. Like there's levels between these young players. Like when it comes to ability, you can say there's a few men that are probably an Mbappe's level ability wise. You don't have the combination though. You just don't.
Quick question.
Mm.
Hazard to Arsenal. What do you think about it? Did you lot see that?
Hazard.
Yeah, did you lot see that? Did you miss it? Yeah, this week. Yeah, it's
keep
been
him
a
away
rumor
from
this
us.
week. It was an option. Madrid are looking to cash in on him. He's old, but but it's not that expensive. Yeah, like apparently it's not that expensive as well. And Arsenal was actually looking at him. Apparently they like the player. Obviously he's old and stuff like that, but and struggled for form. Can't get really a game. But yeah, John.
Even I
yeah, this one's for you. Yeah,
I wouldn't take him. I wouldn't take it. I think it's bad on all sides. I think he's finished. I would not take him. And I think even for him, you're a Chelsea legend. Why the hell would you go Arsenal and be shit? Like it makes no sense.
hey,
Like
I would
just
double
go
down on this.
MLS or something. Your body's finished. Give it a couple years. We'll just remember the Chelsea days and the Belgium days. And we'll just forget what the hell happened at Madrid.
I think he should exit football as soon as possible so we forget any football after Chelsea.
Yeah, stay away from
North
North London.
MLS or something. That's basically retirement. Or join Ronaldo in Saudi Arabia. Just don't.
Yeah,
honestly,
it looks
if
like
he joins Arsenal, he'll be a bench player at Arsenal.
Yeah, 100. Can't see
I
it
don't want to
happening
see
anyway.
him. I don't want to see him.
Why would he
don't even
Arsenal?
don't walk anywhere close in North London. Stay where you are. I don't want to see you on holiday, on a break.
If it was 5 years ago, 4 years ago, I might have been crying if we'd signed them, like legit.
What? Hazard 4 years ago?
That's when he joined Madrid.
Yeah. Man, imagine that 4 years later, and Arsenal fans, we don't want nothing to do with you.
Nothing.
I don't think he wants anything to do with him.
Yeah. Even look what he said before the Belgium the World Cup. He said if our defense is on top form, if our midfield is on top form, and then I can reach the best of my ability, we have a chance. Man said if I can reach the best of my ability.
He said he actually believes the best of his game is over. He said he will
He said it
never be.
himself,
Yeah,
yeah.
he said it himself.
He
I will
said it.
never be able to reach
I
the
will
level
never
that I
get
was
back
at
there.
Chelsea. Never get back there. It's burgers and shakes all the way. Yeah,
Bro,
I'm with you.
if he's saying that, yeah, can you imagine how his body must feel? Like, if he's
No,
Yeah.
saying that means he feels it in his body. He's like, my body is done.
But
I,
no,
I love the
no,
honesty. I love it.
no, but no,
Personally.
it wasn't the fact that he didn't believe his
It's
body
honest, I
could
guess.
do it.
Yes,
It
yeah.
was the psychological damage. He's just so afraid of getting injured again. He doesn't go in the way he does. And you know him, he plays on the cusp, he plays
Yeah,
on
he
the
used to get
edge,
cramped.
he's
Yeah,
leaving the foot around, he's drawing in the fouls. He wants you to make the first move so he will make the counter. You know what I mean?
Yes,
And
yes.
he is scared.
He's shook.
And I understand. You like
So I
you
got a
you
question. I don't know if this is for now or if this is for another podcast. What do you think the shelf life is for these kind of players? Because there's 3 examples that spring to mind. There's Wilshere,
Mhm.
who is now a youth coach at 30 for Arsenal. Like one of the most gifted young English players. To me, one of the most gifted young English players.
Yeah.
And your
Which was
youth
better than
player,
Fulham. Let's not get it twisted.
Wilshere was. There's not many touching Wilshere. Like,
Bro,
Bro,
in
Wilshere-
totality, in his whole career, he probably played a season and a half in totality. If we
yeah,
really get
like
it right,
consistently, you're
if we
probably
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
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 You're
if we
probably
get it
right.
right, if we was
You're
to put
probably
all
right.
yeah,
of his games together,
yeah.
probably
Probably
make just
right.
a season and a half, man.
Insanity. But yeah, there's Wilshere, there's Sanchez, there's Hazard, where those play, and then there's Neymar. There's 4, where those players that like to leave a leg in and like to play on the cusp where they're drawing in fouls and they might get clattered once a game, like badly.
Mhm.
And we got Wilshere, youth coach, 11 years on from that great game up against Barca. You got Sanchez, who didn't like to take time off, played a certain kind of way, and now he's at Marseille, just playing. You got Neymar, who can't be tackled in training, one of the most gifted players we've ever seen, but you can't really be trusted because you're kind of stuck where you are now. Because if anyone's gonna buy you, they're buying you for 6 months. You've proven for the past 6 years you can't finish a season.
Yep. And you know what that's crazy is that I've seen the change in Grealish's game because of that as well. Like since he's gone to City, he doesn't leave his leg in no more. He doesn't draw in the fouls. Actually, he actually gets away and creates the space. He creates the space a lot of a lot of the time, creating space, moving into the space that he just created. I see a lot of that now, rather than let's draw you in. I'm taking you as far up the pitch as I can, and then leaving my foot in so you can kick me down. Like that's not his game no more.
Yeah, he gets clamped, but yeah, you're right. Like it's definitely lessened. Like it's that was his main thing for Villa, where it's just like he's gonna run everywhere with the ball and he's gonna get clattered, but they're gonna get some goals out of it because he's in dangerous positions a lot of the time. But I think that's a conversation maybe one time we could have, like the shelf life of these
definitely.
players.
I think that's a separate show. That's a good question because that is facts.
Yeah, I know. Off the top of my head, I don't know many players that have played that kind of way and have had a long, successful career. Like it's normally in like increments.
I'm trying to think of one.
It's always the technical players, man. Maybe Suarez.
Maybe.
And
different kind of animal.
Yeah, his game changed. His game changed a little bit. Like Liverpool Suarez.
When he went to like MS Barca, he became sort of doing everything like he was doing at Liverpool and Ajax, and just became more like the setup man, the finisher, as opposed to everything else that comes in between. So that probably helped him. It was Neymar getting all the kicks.
Yeah, Neymar's been kicked for 2 careers. Neymar has been battered.
Like I said, with Neymar, sometimes it's like the guy will rip you, then stop the ball still, look at the man he's just ripped, and be like, "What you saying?" Then wait to get kicked, and it's like, "Bro, come on, man. What do you?" Neymar.
You should have learned because you're 30 now. Like you've been getting kicked. You don't enjoy getting kicked.
Hey, Neymar's 31 next month.
Look at this, like man. All right, the only player I can think of who could sustain those kind of heavy tackles and play that kind of way is Thierry Henry.
Yeah,
And
and
he,
that's
and he was
this is
playing on
another.
Red Bull at 31.
Yeah, like his back was done, but like that was after probably playing like probably 100 straight Premier League games for Arsenal. So
True.
it was like, even though it probably isn't the longest period, Henry maximized every game. Like he was getting that, I think they were trying to kill Henry. If you look back at some of the tackles, yeah, some of these tackles are insane. Like they're trying to wipe him out, and he's just hurdling them like they're
Hurdling
nobody.
them, skipping.
Henry didn't even mind that side of the game though.
Yeah.
Henry kind of liked that side of the game.
He would just talk to them and be like, all right, watch what I'm gonna do to you.
Yeah,
Watch.
next play, I'll rip you or something.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah, or you just
Yeah,
look at him
different-
like, he just look at him like, look at this peasant, man. You think you can stop
yeah,
me?
literally.
You can't stop me.
Henry's mentality was special though.
Yeah, man, special kind of player.
Yeah, he had it all, man. Had it all.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I think that brings us pretty much to the end. Unless you guys want to touch on anything before we get out of here.
The only thing I want to say is, look, I think in our last show because we mentioned Pele and Vialli together, it's kind of hard to split the attention when Pele's in the question. But just another shout out, look, Vialli, great player, great manager, great man, positive vibes all the time. From what I know from people who have met him and people who know him, his peers, they've always said that he was a different type of character, always trying to bring out the best in people and saw the world in a different way to most. And he felt like his personal energy input into the world would make a big difference, you know what I mean? And there should be a lot more minds that is like that as well. So shout out to Vialli one more time, man. Salute my man.
100%, man. Well said, bro. Very well said, man.
100%. I think that's a great way to end it, man. On legends. So yeah, good weekend of football to look forward to. Looks like Villa and Leeds are playing right now. Looks like Villa are winning. If anyone's still in the stream who hasn't seen the game,
Guendouzi to Villa. Hey.
And we're gonna get some money out of that. Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, is that happening?
That might happen. It's highly good. Unai wants to reunite with Guendouzi and he's okay with it. It looks like so.
It looks like 40 million pounds. So
yeah, 40 million. Like obviously, Marseille are getting a big profit. They only spent 11. You know what I mean? And they're going to be sending.
We'll get like 7 million from that, right?
Getting
like
something good.
I think we'll probably get 20%, like sell on or whatever.
That's lovely, mate. Yeah.
Bring us the money.
Yes.
But yeah, everyone enjoy your weekend. We out. Peace.
Salam.
Peace.